I mean, we've been talking about metal 3D printing, but like before that, we talked a lot about like bamboo labs, worm labs, and you run Stratasys machines that are like $500,000, $1 million. What is like the biggest difference from your perspective, like as a user, between these two types of machines?
So I would say that when I started working 3D printing, I started inside, we were sort of semi-incubated in a complicated way by a Stratasys reseller. So the first 3D printer I ever touched was an industrial system. So when I started using, I guess, hobbyist or prosumer systems, I was like, wow, this is really hard. I'm used to having my hands held. But I will say that the differences between the industrial machines and the hobbyist or prosumer machines in certain categories have narrowed or disappeared, but in other areas they're still very distinct. So I would say there's a few areas where the big machines still have a lot of value. We can talk about it in terms of categories. So let's start with FDM. If you compared a Prusa to any Stratasys machine, any of the Fortis machines, they were slower. They can print a very limited number of materials, and they're basically unenclosed. The real upgrade of the bamboos, and I guess the Vorons did that as well, the Core XY machines, was that they can go really fast. The Stratasys machines were always that fast, so for a very long time, if you wanted to do production runs in FDM and you were doing it on a hobbyist machine, you needed to have an enormous fleet of them. That gap is narrowing a little bit. Where I still see the Stratasys machines, and we have a ton of them and they run basically non-stop, is in the high temperature materials. The thing about those machines is that it isn't really possible, in my opinion, and I think this sort of gets into some of the things that people were talking about with the metal, which is that there are certain things that to implement just cost too much money in terms of building it out to make it a prosumer or hobby level machine. Like the heaters in the Fortis machines are like $5,000 heaters from the supplier. Like, I mean, maybe if you made as many of those formats, if you get that down to 500, I don't know. But the machines weigh like 2,000 pounds. They've got fully enclosed ovens. The heads and the head is fully outside of the oven with just the two extruders poking through like a flexible bellow system at the top. All those patents are expiring, by the way, so I'm sure we're going to see innovation in that space and people knocking it off. Actually, already there are people cloning those machines. But the thing that I mean, huh? I can't quite hear you.